At age 72, Eleanor Parker still enjoys her morning walks around the neighborhood park. But a year ago, she was struggling with persistent knee pain that made each step feel like a challenge. Like many older adults, Eleanor initially attributed the pain to aging, thinking nothing could be done aside from medication. What she didn't expect was that a shift in her diet, particularly the vegetables she added to her plate, could help bring her knees back to life. Joint pain, especially in the knees, is a common issue for seniors. The wear and tear on cartilage over the years, coupled with chronic inflammation, can significantly reduce mobility and independence. While medication, therapy, and exercise play important roles, food, especially vegetables, can also be a powerful ally. In this article, we'll explore the best vegetables that support knee joint health, how they work in the body, and how seniors can easily incorporate them into daily meals. By the end, you'll have more than just a shopping list. You'll have a natural strategy to stay active, mobile, and confident in your golden years. Before diving into the vegetable aisle, let's take a moment to understand why our knees often suffer as we age. The knee is a complex joint, supported by bones, ligaments, cartilage, and fluid. Over time, the cartilage that cushions the bones can thin or wear away, leading to pain, stiffness, and inflammation. Key signs of osteoarthritis, the most common type of arthritis in older adults. What worsens this condition is chronic inflammation, which acts silently in the body, damaging tissues and accelerating degeneration. Fortunately, certain foods, especially vegetables, can help combat this inflammation and provide the nutrients needed for joint repair and flexibility. 1. The anti-inflammatory power of broccoli. Among the many vegetables that deserve a place on your plate, broccoli stands out as one of the most powerful allies for joint health, especially for aging knees that have weathered a lifetime of use. Its vibrant green florets may look delicate, but inside, broccoli contains an impressive concentration of health-promoting compounds that can make a meaningful difference for older adults living with chronic knee discomfort. What makes broccoli so special is a natural compound called sulforaphane. Researchers have found that sulforaphane helps block enzymes that contribute to the breakdown of cartilage, the soft cushioning between your bones that wears thin with age and use. By interfering with this damaging process, sulforaphane plays a protective role, helping preserve the very tissues that keep our joints flexible and functional. But that's only part of the story. Broccoli is also packed with vitamin C, which is essential for producing collagen, the protein that supports cartilage structure and elasticity. As we grow older, our bodies produce less collagen, making it all the more important to nourish our system with the right building blocks. In addition to vitamin C, broccoli contains vitamin K, a nutrient that works quietly in the background to support bone strength and aid calcium regulation in the body. And speaking of calcium, broccoli offers a plant-based source of this vital mineral, something especially valuable for seniors who may be lactose intolerant or cutting back on dairy. When it comes to eating broccoli, preparation matters. Light steaming is one of the best ways to preserve its nutrients and soft texture, making it easier to chew and digest. For a delicious and healthy option, many older adults enjoy adding steamed broccoli to soups or blending it into creamy, vegetable-based purees. Others roast it with a drizzle of olive oil and garlic, or toss it into a stir-fry with lean chicken or salmon. Eleanor, the 72-year-old woman we met earlier, found an easy rhythm by including broccoli in her lunch several times a week. Sometimes she'd pair it with grilled fish. Other days, it went into her homemade vegetable stew. After just a few months of this small but consistent habit, Eleanor noticed a change. Not only did the swelling in her knees subside, but her overall range of motion began to improve. Climbing stairs no longer felt like a struggle, and her morning walks became less about managing discomfort and more about enjoying the world around her. For seniors across the country, adding broccoli to the daily diet isn't just a health decision. It's a choice that supports movement, independence, and a greater quality of life. In many ways, this humble green vegetable offers more than nutrition. It offers hope. 2. Spinach, a green that goes beyond iron. If there's one leafy green that has quietly stood the test of time in American kitchens, it's spinach. Whether tucked into a sandwich or sautéed into a warm skillet, spinach isn't just an old favorite. It's a nutritional hero, especially for older adults trying to ease joint stiffness and inflammation. It's funny how some of us still associate spinach with that old cartoon sailor Popeye who'd pop open a can and instantly gain superhuman strength. While that might be a stretch, there's a kernel of truth in the story. Spinach really is packed with powerful nutrients, and they do a lot more than just build muscle. Take Irene, for example. At 75, she had begun to feel more stiffness in her hands and knees. Gardening, one of her lifelong passions, became harder with each passing season. One morning, during a routine visit to her doctor, she was encouraged to eat more leafy greens, particularly spinach. "It's more than just iron," her doctor said. "It helps your bones, your joints, your immune system. It's a quiet fighter." So Irene gave it a try. She began sautéing spinach with a bit of garlic and olive oil a few times a week. Sometimes she'd toss a handful into her scrambled eggs or blend it into her morning smoothie with banana and almond milk. Within a couple of months, she noticed something subtle but real. Less swelling in her fingers, more ease when walking through her garden, and an energy she thought she'd lost. Spinach contains compounds like lutein, a plant antioxidant that calms inflammation. It also offers vitamins A, C, and K, each playing a role in protecting bones and supporting the immune system. With magnesium and iron, spinach even helps maintain circulation and energy levels, two things many seniors find themselves needing more of. For older adults looking to nourish their joints and stay active, spinach might just be the quiet, leafy helper you didn't know you needed. And the best part? It's easy to love and even easier to add to just about any meal. 3. Kale, the bone builder. If you've spent any time in the grocery store lately, chances are you've seen kale. This dark, leafy green has become a superstar in the health food world, and for good reason. Kale is not just trendy, it's packed with nutrients that can make a significant difference, especially for older adults concerned about bone health and joint discomfort. Take Bill, for example. At 68, Bill was always active. He loved hiking, swimming, and doing projects around his home. But after a fall a few years ago, he noticed that his joints didn't recover as quickly as they used to. His doctor recommended adding more calcium to his diet to help strengthen his bones and reduce the risk of fractures. But Bill didn't want to rely on dairy alone, so he turned to kale. Kale turned out to be the perfect solution. It's packed with calcium, offering more per cup than a glass of milk, but without the added fat. Alongside calcium, kale is a great source of vitamin K, which is crucial for bone density. And there's more. Kale contains omega-3 fatty acids, which are rare in vegetables but essential for reducing joint inflammation and keeping those aches at bay. Bill started adding kale to his soups, blending it into smoothies, and sometimes even baking kale chips for a crunchy snack. He quickly noticed that his joints felt less stiff, and his energy levels seemed to rise as well. More importantly, the knowledge that he was supporting his bone health naturally gave him a sense of control over his aging body. For seniors like Bill, kale isn't just another vegetable. It's a natural defense against brittle bones and joint instability. With its powerful combination of nutrients, kale is one of those foods that can truly make a difference. So whether you add it to your salad, bake it into crispy chips, or stir it into a comforting soup, kale is a simple and tasty way to support your bones and joints as you age. If you're still watching and enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you have a story or a bit of wisdom you'd like to share, don't be shy. We're all ears. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Just click that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a thing. Every bit of your support helps us keep bringing you more uplifting stories and helpful tips. Thanks for being part of our Elder Bliss family. We're so glad you're here. 4. Carrots. Gentle yet powerful. Carrots may seem simple, even ordinary. Most of us grew up seeing them in lunchboxes, dinner plates, or maybe fresh from a garden. But beneath their familiar orange color lies a quiet strength, one that supports not just vision, but aging joints and overall wellness. Let's talk about Henry, a 74-year-old retired school bus driver from Ohio. For decades, Henry didn't pay much attention to nutrition. His meals were often quick and familiar. Sandwiches, frozen dinners, a slice of pie after supper. But as time passed, he began to notice more stiffness in his knees and fingers, especially during the colder months. Gardening, one of his post-retirement joys, became more of a challenge. When his daughter suggested adding more colorful vegetables to his plate, especially carrots, Henry shrugged and gave it a try. He began slowly. At first, it was just grated carrots in his coleslaw or roasted with a drizzle of honey and thyme for Sunday dinner. Then he added chopped carrots to his chicken stew, letting them soften and sweeten the broth. To his surprise, he began to enjoy the taste. But more than that, within a few weeks, he felt different. Less stiffness, easier movement, and even improved digestion. Carrots are high in beta-carotene, which the body converts into vitamin A. This nutrient not only helps maintain healthy vision, but also reduces inflammation and supports the body's connective tissues, the ligaments, tendons, and cartilage that keep joints stable and pain-free. Plus, carrots provide fiber, which aids digestion and helps the body absorb the nutrients needed to keep joints strong. For seniors like Henry, who are looking for small, manageable steps toward better joint health, carrots offer a gentle yet powerful ally. They're easy to prepare, naturally sweet, and surprisingly versatile. Proof that sometimes the simplest foods hold the greatest healing potential. 5. Bell peppers, vitamin C superstars. When we think of colorful foods that are both delicious and good for our health, bell peppers often don't get the credit they deserve. Red, yellow, orange, and green, they brighten up a plate like little pieces of sunshine. But for seniors, these crunchy vegetables are far more than just decorative. They're rich in nutrients that support aging joints, boost immunity, and even help reduce daily aches and stiffness. Meet Linda, a 70-year-old retired art teacher from Florida. Linda had always been vibrant and active, teaching pottery classes, gardening, and volunteering at her local community center. But after turning 68, she noticed her wrists and shoulders aching more often, especially after a day of painting or working in her flower beds. Her doctor mentioned that maintaining joint health meant supporting her body's collagen production, and that meant more vitamin C. So, Linda turned to bell peppers, especially the bright red ones. Not only did they remind her of the vibrant hues on her artist's palette, but they also became a staple in her kitchen. She began slicing them raw for snacking, roasting them with olive oil for dinner, and stuffing them with quinoa, spinach, and garlic for hearty meals that were as nourishing as they were beautiful. Bell peppers, particularly red ones, are packed with vitamin C, more than an orange in a single serving. This helps the body produce collagen, which is essential for cushioning the joints. They also contain capsaicin, a compound with mild pain-relieving effects. For older adults like Linda, adding bell peppers to meals isn't just about nutrition. It's about staying active, independent, and joyful in everyday life. Sometimes, all it takes is a bit of color on your plate to feel a little brighter and move a little easier. 6. Beets and radishes, circulation boosters. Not everyone grows up loving beets and radishes. In fact, many of us may remember pushing them to the side of our plates as kids. But as we age, these earthy, colorful vegetables take on a whole new importance, especially when it comes to keeping our joints healthy and mobile. Let's talk about Dorothy, a 78-year-old former elementary school teacher from Vermont. After retiring, Dorothy spent her mornings tending a small backyard garden and her afternoons walking her golden retriever Molly. But over time, Dorothy started noticing a stiffness in her knees, particularly on cold mornings or after a long walk. Her doctor said her circulation wasn't as strong as it used to be, and that better blood flow could help her joints feel less inflamed. That's when Dorothy began reintroducing beets and radishes into her meals. She started roasting beets with a sprinkle of rosemary and olive oil, a tip she picked up from her neighbor. She also began adding thin slices of fresh radish into her lunchtime sandwiches and sometimes tossed a handful into her homemade vegetable soups. The taste was refreshing, and the crunch added a new texture she'd come to enjoy. What Dorothy didn't expect was how much lighter her knees began to feel. With improved circulation, the nutrients from her food were reaching her joints more efficiently. She noticed less stiffness in the mornings and more energy during her walks with Molly. Beets and radishes may not have the same fame as spinach or broccoli, but their ability to support healthy blood flow and reduce inflammation makes them quiet heroes in the fight for joint health. Sometimes, the vegetables we once overlooked become the ones that help us stay independent, mobile, and feeling young at heart. 7. Spices and staples that soothe your joints. Sometimes the most powerful healing tools aren't flashy superfoods or rare supplements. They're the humble ingredients we've had in our kitchens for decades: garlic, onions, ginger, and turmeric. These everyday staples don't just add flavor to meals, they bring real relief to aching joints, especially for older adults who want to ease pain naturally. Let's take a look at Clara, a 74-year-old grandmother from Tennessee who swears by her Sunday stew. She's been making it the same way for years. Slow-simmered beef, carrots, potatoes, and always a generous amount of garlic and onions. When her knees started bothering her, she assumed it was just part of getting older. But something surprising happened. Despite her arthritis diagnosis, Clara noticed that some days, especially after having her stew, her joints didn't ache quite as much. Her doctor later explained that garlic contains a compound called allicin, which can reduce inflammation, and onions are full of quercetin, which helps block histamines that trigger swelling. Around the same time, Clara's neighbor Joe introduced her to turmeric tea. He'd read about it in a magazine and figured it couldn't hurt to try. Joe was in his late 70s and had been struggling with hip stiffness. He started adding a pinch of turmeric and fresh ginger to hot water every morning, with a little honey and lemon. After a few weeks, Joe reported less stiffness and more flexibility when bending or walking. These weren't miracle cures, of course, but they were gentle, natural changes that added up over time. Clara began tossing minced garlic into nearly every dinner, sautéing onions with her greens, and sipping turmeric tea in the evenings. Sometimes, she'd even grate a bit of ginger into her morning oatmeal. The beauty of these ingredients is that they fit into the meals you already love. No need for fancy recipes or expensive supplements. Just a few flavorful additions, passed down from tradition and backed by science, quietly working behind the scenes to help your joints feel a little better each day. For older adults looking to stay active and independent, the answer may already be simmering on the stove. Getting older doesn't have to mean giving in to joint pain, stiffness, or the slow loss of independence. While it's true that our bodies change with time, the choices we make each day still matter. And food is one of the most powerful tools we have. Vegetables aren't just side dishes. They're a form of daily care, working quietly behind the scenes to support your joints, reduce inflammation, and nourish your bones and muscles. From broccoli and spinach to garlic, turmeric, and beets, each one brings a unique set of benefits that can help you stay mobile and active longer. This information isn't meant to replace your doctor's advice, but it can work alongside it. When combined with other healthy habits, like staying hydrated, keeping up with light physical activity, and going for regular checkups, these simple food choices can have a real impact on your well-being. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Just start with a few small changes. Try adding a handful of spinach to your lunch, a sprinkle of turmeric in your evening soup, or some roasted carrots as a dinner side. Little by little, those changes build momentum, and your joints will begin to feel the difference. So the next time you're in your kitchen or browsing the produce aisle, remember, your grocery list could be your first line of defense against joint pain. You're not just preparing a meal, you're investing in your freedom, your comfort, and your ability to keep doing what you love for years to come. Your kitchen, your medicine cabinet. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with others. And please subscribe to the channel. It's a huge motivation for me to keep creating more helpful and inspiring content for you.